Hi, I'm Anika Chapin, Signature's Director of Artistic Development. I want to talk about one of the most justifiably famous songs in Ragtime, called Your Daddy's Son. Appearing midway through the first act, it's sung by Sarah, a character we know two main things about. One, she has done a terrible thing, buried her newborn baby alive after giving birth. Don't worry, he makes it, he's fine. And two, Sarah has refused to speak about it. Her story can't move forward until we as the audience have some insight into why and how she could have done this thing. But how do you help us understand and love a character who has done an awful thing but won't offer any explanation for why she did it? By giving us this gorgeous, intimate moment between Sarah and her baby. This song will show us why she did what she did, how she felt about it, and how she feels now. Here, Sarah is singing to her baby, as mothers do. By starting this way, without lyrics, the song is bringing us into its world and this quiet, intimate moment between these two. Now, this is a show that has a lot of words, a lot of characters, and a lot of information to convey, but this song is a very different scale. This wordless opening is allowing us to lean in, to adjust to listening a little differently to this delicate, small-scale moment. Often in a musical, words will carry information while music carries emotion, and when you have one without the other, it's telling us something about the state of the singer. Now, it's not unusual for a mother to croon to her baby, yes, but Sarah at this point might just not have the words yet to explain what happened. And this melody isn't a standard lullaby. This music is haunting, emotional, and a little bit sad. We know that the story Sarah is going to tell won't be a happy one, and her relationship with her baby at this point isn't carefree.
He played piano, played it very well. Music from those hands could catch you like a spell. He could make you love him, for the tune was done. You have your daddy's hands. You are your daddy's son.
Here, Sarah is starting to tell her baby and us the story. And she starts with, "Daddy played piano, played it very well." I love this. This music is set going up and down a scale, so it sounds like someone playing the piano. And the orchestration has a solo piano playing right behind the melody, so we're right there with her hearing this piano. Then she sings the lyric, "Music from those hands could catch you like a spell." That one little phrase, "catch you like a spell," tells us a lot. His hands were the source of a spell, something that takes you over, makes you not entirely in control of yourself. That's the state she will describe when she buries her baby, and the seeds are being planted here. It's also notable that Sarah isn't talking about herself in the first person. She says the baby's daddy, whom we know is Coalhouse Walker, another major character in the show, could make you love him before the tune was done. She isn't singing in the first person. She's saying you instead of me. She's keeping her story one step removed from herself at this point. And just as it feels like it's getting to a more emotional place with the higher notes on before the tune was done, she brings it back down to the baby, explaining that he is like his father and pulling the melody back down the scale. This isn't really an explanation yet. Her baby having his father's hands doesn't really explain much, even if they were the source of the spell that caught Sarah. And she then resumes this wordless melody from the beginning of the song. She doesn't have all the words. It feels like she is working her way through this story as she's trying to tell it to her baby. She hasn't fully connected all the dots in her own heart and head yet, so she doesn't have all these lyrics.
Daddy never knew that you were on your way. He had other ladies and other tunes to play. When he up and left me, I just up and run. Only thing in my head, you are your daddy's son.
She's starting to tell more of the story here, and this is the part that's harder for her to tell. Coalhouse cheated on her and didn't know she was pregnant, something that will make it easier for us to like him when he left her. And it's in this verse, when talking about Coalhouse leaving her, that Sarah finally uses the first person in "when he up and left me." She can't maintain any distance from the story now. She's in it, reliving it with all of its pain.
Couldn't hear no music sick, couldn't see no light. Mama, she was frightened, crazy from the fright. Tunes without no comfort, screams without no sound, only darkness and pain, the anger and pain, the blood and the pain. I buried my heart in the ground, in the ground, when I buried you in the ground.
Now she's fully in this memory, and we're transitioning into the birth and then the burial. And the music is taking us there. The controlled, calm storytelling is gone, and we're hearing her panic in this music as she's telling us about how she's running crazy from the fright. And then we feel the birth with her in these lines, the darkness and pain, the anger and pain, the blood and the pain. These lines mimic the contractions in their repetition, always coming back to that key word, pain. And from there we get the key line of this whole song, I buried my heart in the ground. After this relentless pulling down of the lines about pain, this line breaks through much higher, like a wail or a scream. We can hear her anguish and the pure emotion of that line. She has switched back to the first person here. It is perhaps the most visceral, personal line in the whole song. And of course, she is saying that this baby is her heart. She was trying to push her heart away after all of this pain, from the emotional pain of Coalhouse leaving her to the physical pain of childbirth. And then we get the much more measured, quiet line, when I buried you in the ground. She is acknowledging and accepting what she did. We now know why she did it. She was a brokenhearted and terrified girl trying to push away all of her feelings after suffering a betrayal and a birth.
Daddy played piano, bet he's playing still. Mama can't forget him, don't suppose I will. God wants no excuses, I have only one, and you had your daddy's hands. Forgive me, you are your daddy's son.
After that emotional outburst and her acknowledgement of what she did, the song goes to a very different place. The first phrase of the whole song repeats, and she notes that Coalhouse is probably playing piano still somewhere. She's imagining him and herself in the present, no longer in the past. She acknowledges that she might never get over Coalhouse, but there's acceptance and maturity in it. We're no longer hearing that panicked girl who couldn't do anything but run from her feelings. And then she says again, you had your daddy's hands, but she has changed the tense from have to had, just as she changes you are your daddy's son to you were your daddy's son. It's a tiny difference, but it speaks volumes. All she could see in her baby once was the painful presence of Coalhouse. But now that connection is in the past, her baby is something more to her now. And we know that she can move on. But between those two lines, we get perhaps the most beautiful, heartbreaking moment of this whole song. A new extra line breaks the rhythm of what we know already, and Sarah sings to her baby, forgive me. She has no music at all supporting her. This is a cappella, which makes the line even more vulnerable. She has explained and acknowledged what she did, and now in this immensely simple, raw moment, she is asking her baby's forgiveness. And because she does, we love and forgive her, and we are ready to move forward with the rest of her story.